It was a Michigan kind of night for Tim Hardaway and Trey Burke as the Dallas Mavericks get a 115-105 win over the Detroit Pistons. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. The Dallas Mavericks moved to a season high 8 games above 500 at 35-27. Now 19-13 on the road after they get a career high 42 points from Tim Hardaway Jr., who went 13 of 23 from the field, 10 of 10 from the free throw line, and 6 of 10 from downtown. In the fourth quarter alone, he scored 17 consecutive points when the game was tied at 92, and he was able to lead the Dallas Mavericks to a 115-105 win. Those 17 consecutive points gave the Mavericks a 109-105 lead during the final 5:32. He capped that off with a huge three-pointer with 104 left to give them that 109-105 lead. Here is Tim Hardaway after the game, where his parents, Tim Hardaway Sr., Jalen Rose, was all in the building in Detroit at the Little Caesars Arena. And here's what he had to say about the terrific performance that he had in front of friends and family. Here's Tim Hardaway.
It was a little bit of both, but, mainly my parents and my family being there. It's always great, just to see them, and especially during these hard times that we're living in right now. So just being able to have them witness me play in person and being able to see them and being able to talk to them, it's awesome, man. And hey, when Pops is in the building, I don't know what it is. It's just these things just happen. So I'm happy and thankful he was here.
So Tim Hardaway saying, look, I don't know what it is about when Pops is in the building, but when Pops is in the building, these kinds of things tend to happen. And you saw some of this start to come from him from a couple of nights ago against the Golden State Warriors. He was able to shoot the ball a little bit better, even though he had limited shot attempts. You didn't necessarily see a 42-point performance coming, but you saw some signs that he was starting to get out of the rut that he was in shooting the ball from downtown. He, alongside with Trey Burke, were terrific, especially in the second quarter. Tim Hardaway had 11 points. Trey Burke had 6 points of his own, going a perfect 2 of 2 from the field and 2 of 2 from the free throw line after the game was tied at 26 at the end of the first quarter. The Dallas Mavericks now moved to 14-27 on the season when either tied or trailing at the end of the first quarter. Trey Burke in this game was also terrific. He had 15 points. It was a Michigan kind of night, as I said, because Trey Burke was able to put himself in a position where he was able to help out his longtime teammate from Michigan to walk into Detroit to get themselves a nice win. This was a game, of course, that did not have Luka Doncic, who was missing after playing 16 consecutive games. Dorian Finney-Smith also sat out after playing 20 consecutive games. And for a while, it felt like the Mavericks, and honestly, it felt like it throughout most of the game, they were getting outplayed by the Detroit Pistons. They gave up 48 points in the paint. Saddiq Bey had 18 points. Rookie Isaiah Stewart had 20 points and 10 rebounds. And the Pistons shot 50% from the field for the game. They also out-rebounded the Dallas Mavericks in this game, also 39-35. So it felt like for most of this game, they were getting outperformed and outplayed. But give credit to Tim Hardaway Jr., give credit to Trey Burke for allowing this Mavericks team to stay in it. More importantly, once you got to the fourth quarter, Tim Hardaway, with his iron will, as Rick Carlisle put it after the game, would not allow the Mavericks to lose a game where they needed to continue to build the momentum going forward. Now, they remain a game ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers for the 6th seed in the Western Conference, and now find themselves just 1 game behind the Los Angeles Lakers for the 5th seed in the Western Conference. Here is Trey Burke after the game discussing his performance and what it was that allows him to be a co-captain of the Stay Ready All-Stars. Here is co-captain of the Stay Ready All-Stars, Trey Burke.
Tough. It is tough as a competitor. I'm very competitive, and I feel like I can help my team win or help this team win. And you just gotta figure out how to focus on the things you can control. Sometimes I feel like it's out of my control, and I just got to be ready when my number is called. But I know what I can bring to this team. I'm on both ends of the court. So, for me, it's just continuing to stick to my routine and my schedule, my structure away from the court. That's the affirmation. Continue to visualize as if I'm still playing 30 to 35 minutes. I still try to prepare now like how I was preparing in the playoffs when I was playing a lot of minutes. So when the time does come, you're ready for the opportunity. So it's just about being prepared for me, or it's just about preparation for me, and letting the work speak for itself. Also, my faith. You can't go out there without faith and confidence in your game. And I think those are two things that were on my sleeve.
So Trey Burke putting himself in position where, if you remember, he did not play the previous 6 games before playing in the Sacramento Kings game, where he's able to give them a terrific performance, especially scoring-wise. And then the defensive effort that he gave on Stephen Curry, containing him as allowing the Dallas Mavericks to get a win on the road when they drubbed the Golden State Warriors by 30 points there. Then comes back in this game and is really able to help out Tim Hardaway, who was able to have a spectacular performance himself. This was a game that we know, unfortunately, Kristaps Porzingis had to leave at the end during the third quarter. Now, Kristaps Porzingis was coming back after missing the previous 3 games due to a left ankle sprain. He had to leave during the third quarter because of a right knee soreness. Now, if you remember, this is the same right knee where he had a meniscus tear in. So there's obviously concern about Kristaps Porzingis going forward. Because, look, he's already had a torn ACL. He's already had a torn meniscus in the right knee. We've already heard from him that he may have to have some things done to his wrist at the end of the season because he had hurt it earlier this year. The list of ailments continues to grow and grow and grow for Kristaps Porzingis, and it's ultimately concerning. Here is what Rick Carlisle had to say with respect to his level of concern for Kristaps Porzingis after having to leave the game with right knee soreness. Here is Coach Rick Carlisle after the game.
Yeah, look, I have great concern this time of year when somebody has a hangnail. That's the world we're living in right now with this density of games. And so, look, I think the good thing was I didn't hear anything about it at halftime. It was when he came out in the third after a few minutes of sitting out, as the quarter break was coming, Casey just let me know that he was not going to be back. And so, we had to come up with, obviously a different plan. But look, the level of concern is there with all our guys. And, overall, KP's responded very well to any issues he's had with that knee. And so we'll hope for the best. We'll hope it's a short-term thing and hope for the best.
So, look, Rick Carlisle is saying, look, at this point of the season, I'm concerned when guys have a hangnail. The level of concern is obviously there for Kristaps Porzingis, and the amount of folks on Mavs Twitter, on social media, wherever and however you may be watching the Mavericks, they are concerned too. And honestly, some of them, a lot of you, are starting to get kind of over the idea that Kristaps Porzingis stays hurt. Because look, 7'3", can put the ball on the deck, shoot the ball from 35 feet, at times is a shot blocker and a rim protector inside the paint. You could tell he was not moving well, especially in the first quarter where Isaiah Stewart was cooking him in the first quarter. As I mentioned, Isaiah Stewart, 20 points, 10 rebounds in this game. Rookie Sadiq Bey out of Villanova, he chipped in 18. Now, this is a game where the Pistons did not have Corey Joseph, did not have Mason Plumlee, did not have Wayne Ellington, did not have Jeremy Grant. So you would have thought coming into this game, the Mavericks would be able to put them away fairly early. That was not the case. A very well-coached, disciplined team in terms of Dwayne Casey, who was a former assistant, of course, of Rick Carlisle during the 2011 championship year, who said pregame that he believes this Mavericks team could potentially win a playoff series given the firepower that they have, especially on the offensive end. Obviously, there was no Luka Doncic, no Dorian Finney-Smith. But more so than anything, we've talked about this plenty of times with this team. The Mavericks tend to play down the competition. But you give this Mavericks team credit for sticking in the fight and not giving in. Josh Green, the rookie out of Arizona, won the Defensive Player of the Game belt for the first time this season. He provided some quality energy, some winning plays, had a nice assist to Maxi Kleber for a three-pointer. He played the kind of winning basketball that you would need in a game where you had to insert him into the rotation due to the shorthanded nature at which the Mavericks were playing at in this game against the Detroit Pistons. So obviously you got help from a lot of different folks in this game who were able to help contribute to a win, where the Mavericks now increased their win total for the 4th consecutive month. They finished the month of April 10-6 in their 16 games played. as now you turn the calendar from April to May as they get ready to come home to take on the Washington Wizards and the Sacramento Kings, who they have not beaten yet this season. This was an important win, not just because, you had to have it to continue your pace as far as the Western Conference standings are concerned, but most of this game, you were outplayed. The Detroit Pistons, a scrappy bunch, found themselves sticking in this game where they really had no business doing so. But give credit to Tim Hardaway Jr., who was aggressive, played well, shooting the ball from the free throw line, went 10 of 10 from the free throw line. The Mavericks collectively went 22 of 23 from the free throw line. But more importantly, Tim Hardaway finding ways to manufacture points, at times getting fouled on three-pointers on several occasions to be able to get to the line to create and manufacture points. He remains ultra aggressive throughout this game. And when you score 17 consecutive points, capped by that three-pointer to give you that 109-105 lead with about a minute left in the game, you knew that Tim Hardaway was resolute in his will to make sure that this team was not going to lose this game, and they had to have it. You say, Kevin, this is a whole lot when it comes to just beating the Detroit Pistons. Well, look, in the NBA, a win is a win is a win, and the way that the Mavericks have found themselves at times being Jekyll and Hyde, you will take a performance where, yes, you are missing your best player in Luka Doncic and missing one of the hearts and souls of your team in Dorian Finney-Smith. But give credit to Trey Burke, co-captain of the Stay Ready All-Stars. Give credit to Tim Hardaway Jr., who has been much maligned this season for his streaky, hot, and cold nature. He was white hot in this game, and the Mavericks needed every single bit of it. Rick Carlisle even said that after the game. They needed every bit of the 42 points in over the 35 minutes that Tim Hardaway played in this game, because the Mavericks knew they need to have this game as they get ready to come home to take on the Washington Wizards and also the Sacramento Kings. So now as you spin this forward, the Dallas Mavericks, who own the season series over the Golden State Warriors, over the San Antonio Spurs, over the Memphis Grizzlies, over the Los Angeles Lakers, need to continue to win games. And you had the chance to rest a guy in Luka Doncic. But obviously the concern moving forward now is what happens with Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously coming back from the left ankle sprain, you did not want to see him have to leave after he was playing okay, as I mentioned, not moving well, especially in the first quarter. Did some things okay offensively in the game before he had to leave, but ultimately, that ain't what you want to see this late in the season. Well, you say, Kevin, the density of games, the compressed schedule, the amount of back-to-backs, it has been a very tough, very difficult, very arduous schedule for all folks in the NBA. It's especially concerning when it comes to Kristaps Porzingis, who a lot of folks who keep jumping into my mentions on Twitter and also here on YouTube are saying, hey, it's time to move on for Kristaps Porzingis because the best ability is availability, and it seems like he can't stay available these days with respect to his health. And I get it. Kristaps Porzingis is a 20-10 guy when he's healthy. That's when he's on the floor. And that ultimately is the concern because he has not been able to do so for this stretch of time, missing the 3 games with left ankle sprain and now leaving with right knee soreness in the same knee that he just had meniscus surgery on. So we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, the Dallas Mavericks, look, outplayed in this game, yes. Out-rebounded in this game, yes. Allowed the Detroit Pistons to shoot nearly 51% from the field, yes. They still got to win. And in the NBA, that's all that matters. The Dallas Mavericks now move to a season-high 8 games above 500, 35-27, 19-13 on the road as they now get ready to come home and they get ready for the final stretch run in this season where they have 10 games left to try and hang on, to cling to the 6th seed in the Western Conference because they need to do so. Because the way things are shaping up is going to be a hard-fought battle to the end of this season. We'll see how the Mavericks move forward and what happens, more importantly, with Kristaps Porzingis down the stretch and see if he can come back relatively soon from his right knee soreness. We shall see. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. I will be at the American Airlines Center on Saturday when the Mavericks take on the Washington Wizards and on Sunday when they host the Sacramento Kings. Let's see if they can get a win against the Kings. But again, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. It's been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.